believe this is our first time meeting right now.
I know. It's a pleasure, man. You're a legend.
Thank you. But I'm so happy that you're here. I feel like I had to fight time and time again. I'm like, wait, what do you mean she was just here and then she left? Jessie Reyez, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Okay, so give us an update. Have you found your New York baby yet?
I don't know. Maybe. Maybe I found my New York baby. Maybe.
Okay, potential.
Potentially. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, potentially.
Well, I like this energy right now. And if you know, you know. But we are here to talk about the album, and it will all make sense. This Friday, Paid in Memories will finally be here. Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about this album, because I heard you went to Peru.
Yes.
To put it together. Why Peru? Anything special?
To finish it up, I just love being in nature. And there was this dope Airbnb that we were able to like convert. Yeah. It was in the mountains. It was beautiful.
Is that where you have posted behind the scenes footage of you actually working on this project?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was from there.
Yeah.
What made you want to, spill the secrets of your writing process and creating music? Because you usually don't let people, see how, lack of better words, how the sausage is made.
Yeah. My management.
My management.
What? I don't like doing it. I like keeping that place very like sacred and not. I don't even like a full studio. Like I hate. Some people love sessions where they bring homies and entourage and partners and all this shit. And I'm like, no. I don't like. I like intimacy in the room when that's happening. When I'm making. So even documenting it, it's not like there was a lot of people in the Airbnb, but even documenting it was a little foreign. But luckily, the people I work with, I've worked with for like 5, 6, 7 years plus. So who was it? Was it Dane? Yeah. Dane Oker. Dane Collison. He's a videographer I've worked with for a long, long time. So it didn't feel that foreign, and it just took about like a day. I mean, if you're followed around with a camera for a week, by day 8, it's not going to seem as stark of a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what's the secret sauce with your writing? Because I feel like as a songwriter, this is what you do. What don't you want to show us?
It's not so much what I don't want to show. I'm a pretty open book, and I think one of the consistencies in my writing is just honesty and truth about the human experience, even the ugly, even things that sometimes maybe people wouldn't speak so openly about. But what I don't want, it's not about not wanting to show. It's about not wanting perception to affect my vulnerability in the moment, because I can capture it in a pure way when I am independent, when I'm like completely careless about whatever is looking at me or what might be looking at me.
I agree.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
100%. It's really preserving that magical moment.
Yeah, preserving the purity.
Because like if you see a camera there, it's gonna, that it's there.
Yeah, it's like a full session. It's another it's another awareness. Another potential judgment, which is fine after the fact, but I need to be open and raw, unencumbered by fear.
Which song on the album was the hardest song to write?
It's a tie between I Never Said I Was Sane, that's the intro, because of how many edits and nudges and just there was a lot that went into that song. And then Brother, not a lot went into it, but not a lot of nudges and edits, but a lot of emotion. So it was just a very emotionally heavy song.
Yeah. How do you balance that? Because I know you had talked about how this project's going to be happy, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a little bit of sad energy to it. Well, first off, is there anything making you sad right now?
Yeah.
What?
Just, life's never perfect. But there's a lot of things that are making me happy simultaneously.
So. Tell me something that just...
Happiness?
Yeah.
Chicken wings that someone on my team just got me.
Hell yeah. Eating before you came here?
Yes, but I was eating and working. In all fairness, I was eating and working. But yeah, little things like that, like being able to actually sleep last night because my time zone and jumping from zone to zone and has messed me up a bit. But yesterday I was finally able to sleep like a solid 6 hours without waking up, and I was like, this is money. Yeah, it was nice.
What's that like?
It's nice. It's dreams. It's deep REM dreams, like movies and just little things like that. I'm just very grateful for it because it's nice when you can experience it. Yeah.
Do you have vivid dreams?
Yeah, every night.
I love them.
Like movies, you have them too?
All the time. And Katrina, my best friend, thinks I'm so weird because a lot of times, like, I'll dream something and it happens.
Yeah, me too. I have that in my family too. My mom gets them like that. Oh my God. Yeah, that's trippy. When they happen like that, it shakes
Oh, for
you.
sure.
Yeah.
Like, but then, like, where's the balance for us? Like, how do we know, like, oh, we're being in our head, or is this really foreseeing something?
When there's signs of the day prior to, I know that it's just my brain recalibrating. When it's something that's completely foreign, it feels like something that was planted in there by something higher than me.
Yeah.
When there's no remnants of the day before, because you have dreams like that. No, if you see something and
right.
you're like, oh, this is just memory and brain folds recalibrating through the unconscious. But when it's something alien, when it's something completely foreign, I'm like, I didn't make this. I didn't send this to me.
Someone sent it.
Someone sent it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to think if I had any like nightmares or anything recently. I haven't had any, so that's
good.
a good sign. I think we're
nice.
on a roll right now.
Yeah,
you talked about also your chakra. You're in like a higher place right now.
Yeah.
That's good, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you find balance in life right now and traveling and also being able to tap into your chakras and protecting your energy?
I pray a lot. I meditate a lot. I go to yoga. I journal. I journal daily, which I feel like has helped me just become more self-aware.
How did you get into journaling?
How did I get into journaling?
Like, I don't know, because like I feel like that's something I've heard time and time again, that it's so helpful and it's
So
very
helpful.
therapeutic.
So therapeutic.
But I'm just like, maybe it's my insecurity of like, what would I write? Like that first sentence. That's why I'm curious. How did you come across journaling? Is it because you're just naturally a songwriter, you think?
No, because I didn't do it naturally. It's something that I had to consciously do. I labored into getting into the rhythm. I think I was doing like shadow work a few years ago. Ooh. And there's this thing called the shadow work journal, and it prompts you with certain questions to like to look at the ugly side of you that maybe you're a bit reluctant to look at sometimes, and take self inventory. So I was doing that a few years ago. And when I started doing it, I realized how interesting it was to see a page look back at me and almost be more vivid than a mirror sometimes. Yeah, it's nuts. And then the best thing that I've ever done for journaling is I have a homie. Shout out to my trainer, Latif. He's great. We were talking about the benefits, and we both talked about doing it, but how it's difficult to remain consistent.
Yeah.
And then we talked about like accountability buddies and. Sure. So we were like, all right, we're going to do it for each other. And literally it's been months. It might almost be a year by now, and it's nice because we have that responsibility to each other just as friends, where you don't have to, sometimes you reach out to friends and you have to catch up and shit. Nah, like we might catch up every now and then, but our history, if I showed you my phone, it'd be hilarious. It's literally just note emoji. Sometimes I send a laptop emoji.
I love this.
Yeah, and it's just confirming that we did it. And then the power of momentum is beautiful too, because you don't have to commit, because I feel like it's daunting. It used to be daunting for me to commit, to be like, I have to like write out a paragraph. But the key in life, there's this book called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, that's so great, and it talks about the power of momentum, because you just have to get momentum on your side in regards to doing it every day, even if it's this much. Even if
How
it's
do we
like
get it on our side?
2 sentences, 3 sentences, and then, so for example, say you've journaled for 4 days.
Sure.
And your 5th day comes and you're fucking tired and you got shit to do and you're lazy or whatever the reason is. And you're like, your only responsibility to yourself is to remain consistent in the days. So just write a sentence. Sentence. Literally just something to contribute to day 5 so that you have momentum of the days, so that come day 6, even if you just did 1 sentence, you're there already, so you're going to commit to doing at least a sentence. And what's great is that maybe by day 8, you might happen to have more time, so now you have momentum and effort and like and labor that you didn't expend a few days before that you could commit to that day.
I need to do it.
Yeah, it's really beneficial. I recommend it. Highly recommend it.
Before, I know I'm going to see you again. I want to make you proud. I want to do it so bad.
Do it.
I really
do it with Katrina.
Yeah, Katrina.
Do it with Katrina.
Me and Katrina. Man, we're moms.
She said, "Why am I in this?"
We're moms now, so we're barely holding on. We're moms of toddlers, so we're barely holding on like by a thread. It's like this.
Yeah.
But, speaking of moms and parents, I want to talk about what you had to say about your parents being your hero. Mm-hmm. And I love that. And me as a mother, how does that what did your parents do for you to nurture and foster all of your dreams and, watch this growth and you making your dreams come true ultimately? I want to be a good mom and I want to support my daughter. Mm-hmm. What mattered the most to you?
My mom always let me be me. My dad too, like they just let me. I always had a sense of freedom when it came to just being myself. And it's an interesting thing because it's a double-edged sword, because I also faced bullying, and I also faced when I was younger, because usually when you're a kid in school, you want to blend in. You want to blend in because as soon as you stick out, you become a fucking like, and the bullies are like, that's different, that's not the norm, and you get punished. And that was difficult. It was a difficult burden to carry, you know, for anyone that's ever been on the receiving end of bullying when you're in school, or you feel weird, or you feel like you're off, or you feel like you're just not the norm. It's a difficult place to be when you're younger. But the other side of that coin is that you grow up to have the thickest skin. Like, I'm grateful that I was given that gift by my mom that at the moment might have felt like a burden when I felt so off and so different and so separate. But it's made me much more connected to myself and open with who I am and accepting of who I am. And also, I think one of the most important things is they led by example in terms of like work ethic and hustle. Like, I had a front row seat to how hard my parents worked. Yeah. My mom worked. So my mom raised many kids that weren't hers. She ran a daycare at the crib. My dad barely ever missed a day of work. My dad would work doubles. My dad, like, you know, he did his best. They both did their best. And that's the other thing, is that, like, what's beautiful is you don't have to be perfect. That's like, right. I know that about my mom, and it's made me even, like, and I know it about my dad, that I'm like, they're, even in moments where I'm like, oh, it's so easy to critique. But even in moments where I was like, this could have been different, I take a step back and I'm like, they did their best. And ultimately, when you have that grace for anybody in your life, it makes it's a gift to yourself to give other people grace, because then you don't hold yourself to such a rigid standard either, but also you remind yourself of your own humanity when you hold space for someone else's, you know? That's a gift.
Powerful.
Yeah. Just remember your parents are human and they did their best, you know? And even if you're like, they could have done more, they did their best with what they had at the time.
That's it.
You know?
100%.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to do the best that I can with what I got.
Amen.
When you said that your parents, your mom especially, just allowed you to be, what does that look like? You know, like, here you are, you're telling us, like, okay, at school, you're targeted, you're bullied, but, like, what did she do? How did she give you that confidence and that, like, reassurance that, hey, you're great as you are?
It was letting me wear whatever I wanted. It was, if I wanted to dress in my brother's clothes for a week, I was allowed to, and I'd go to school like that. And what's funny is that even if I had to, like, my dad would go to Home Depot and I'd go to or some store and someone would be like, oh, your son needs to grab that, because they're referring to me because they think I look like a little boy. My dad wouldn't be like, that's my daughter, or look at me and be like, oh, you should dress in pink. He'd just be like, uh-huh, and he'd keep it moving. And it made it so clear how irrelevant outside opinions are as long as you're fine with yourself. And those little moments that I remember so vividly, or like letting me dress up in curtains, letting me make shit. I was just always allowed to be creative. They always gave me freedom to be creative. My mom spent a lot of time, because my dad was working a lot, my mom worked from home. Mm-hmm. So my mom always gave me that, and then I also had a front row seat of watching my dad be creative, because this guy could make anything. Like, he's very, very, very creative and very well versed with his hands.
And you know what? I feel like we've seen that with your music, right? Because time and time again, I just feel like the sound, there's no way to categorize, oh, what genre? Oh, put her in this box. Or
Talk about it.
Like, it's a sound I can't explain. It's just, I feel like you're in a different planet. Truly. Like, it's just, when I think of alternative, I think, oh, yeah, okay, 100%. I can understand that more than trying to box you into something. Early on in your career, did you feel like people were trying to box you into something and it frustrated you or anything like that? From your perspective, right? Yeah. It could be the industry, but I'm always so curious, someone who is as creative as yourself, who really does whatever they want to do for the most part, right? Musically. Was there any tension with that? Your freedom to, you know, with your sound and you wanting to protect your authenticity when it comes to what you're putting together? Yeah,
absolutely. But it was something that I peeped early on, and I was able to kind of find solace in giving myself my own title for genre. Like, and the thing is as much as I want to be free and as much as I want to be, I understand, especially now, people's inclination to want to categorize for the sake of making something more palatable to the public. Sure. You got to know what PlayStation to put you in. It's not just like wanting to box you in. It's also if someone wants to work with me and someone wants to help me succeed for the DSPs, they got to know what. So I understand that. But when I was coming in and I still felt very reluctant to having any sort of boundary or label, I was like, I thought about it, and one day I was like, you know what? My genre is Quentin Tarantino. If my song can play in a Quentin Tarantino film, which is so full of vibrancy and such a wide spectrum of human experience, then it's a Jessie Reyez song.
Ooh, I love how you explain that right now.
Thanks.
Well, I don't think it was hard for, the artists that you have on this album, right? I mean, we're talking about legends being on this album, from Wayne, Sam Smith. Now, when I was actually looking at the track listing, I didn't see Sam Smith on an actual song. So where are they?
It's a special surprise, so I won't tell you what song, but it was a song that very much, all my songs come from my life when I'm going through. And this one particular song had to do with some heartbreak, bull, toxic that I was going through, and I had talked to Sam about it. It was some of it had kind of started when I was on tour with them and their whole team. Sam knew a bit of background, and I had updated them on what was happening. You send your homies voice notes of a quick little podcast of today and the week. Right. So it was that, and they sent me back a voice note that was really sweet. That felt like a hug because they were aware. It's so taxing when you kind of like journaling. It's that same feeling of I have to relive this. But it was nice because I didn't have to relive everything because they already knew the context. So I just had to give them a quick little update. So
Sam was just boom, get
boom.
to
Yeah,
it.
exactly. They could just jump in and hit the ground running. So they jumped in and gave me some very, very sound advice and wise words and sent me a verbal hug. It was very sweet. So that is placed at the end of one of the songs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll know this Friday. And now when we're listening to it, we have just a whole different lens.
Yeah. It's a very real...
Yeah, because it's from a true situation.
Yeah.
Was that the last time you got your heart broken?
No.
Oh my! Wait, why are you looking away? Who broke your heart?
Not that guy.
Well, no, I was gonna say, don't bring anybody in here that's breaking your heart. Jessie, we will fight them.
No, not that guy. Same guy, different moment. I know.
We gotta let him go.
I know.
When was the last time he hit you up?
Last week. Listen, I'm not perfect. I'm working on it. But you know what's nice is I'm smiling today.
It.
That's what I said. My bounce back, my sense of balance, my recoil is just much better. I'm not sinking, which is all you can ultimately ask for, because tribulations are going to come. Even as healed as I can be today, I'm going to receive another lesson in front of me. Some one of the days in front of me, I'm probably going to receive another lesson. So. Yeah, it still hurts. It still sucks, but it is what it is, and I'm not crying right now, so that's a sign of progress.
I love that. That's progress right there. Well, what was the biggest lesson you learned from that situation?
To call out red flags and just be ruthless in selection. Because I could have just avoided so much, and I tried my best, but I just to just be more ruthless, which I am now. And someone could call it judgmental, but I don't. I call it self-preservation. I
love that.
Yeah, if I see if I peep game, then I'm like, oh, you don't follow through, or you're a little sus with your words, or you're a little something that doesn't really align with me. I'll exit before my feelings are involved, and then it's an easier clean cut.
Yeah.
Bye.
I knew you went something because you had posted about Valentine's Day and you were giving great advice. Mm-hmm. Listen, if your man or whoever isn't posting you on Valentine's Day, go ahead and just take their phone, go live and introduce yourself to the world on the internet.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to do that?
Yeah. But I didn't do it out of malice. It was I was in a really healthy relationship, actually.
Okay.
A few years ago, he was a great guy. It failed, if anything, because of me, because I wasn't healed and ready for healthy love. But we were just great together, and I'd fuck with him sometimes. We'd be play fighting in bed or something, and he's much more quiet, more reserved, more introverted, and I'm introverted, but he's just more than I am.
Right.
And so I'd fuck with him sometimes and grab his phone and be looking at photos, and then he'd look away, and I'd be like, and I'd open Instagram and I'd click live, and I'd be like, look, and he was like, no, and he sat and take his phone away. It was great. You know who it was?
No. But I love that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to take matters into your own hands.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
But I didn't do it out of malice with him. It was just, we were just messing around.
Yeah.
That's one of the, no, that's, that relationship, we lasted 2.5 years, and I never went through his phone. And which might sound, someone might be like, okay, that's normal. But a lot of girls be going through phones,
Come on now.
Sometimes you have to regulate.
Right. That's right.
We were together for 2.5 years, and that's how much I trusted him.
That's a great sign.
Yeah.
As a former phone snooper, I am absolutely proud of you.
Thank you.
Now, I don't know. In the future, I might encourage you to,
to snoop in?
Maybe just in the early stages.
Yeah, exactly. In the early stages.
Only in the early stages.
Yeah. It seems justifiable.
I agree, especially in this day and age. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I love the rollout for the album as well. It's very nostalgic, right? And, you're posting yearbook photos of everyone who's on the album. And I just, we all go back in time and we remember these moments. And the piece that you posted about yourself, there were a few parts that were blanked out.
Yeah.
I want to know what you were saying in them. Like, what was your pet peeve? What were some of the pet peeves?
Redacted.
Okay, is it because that's old back then, what were considered pet peeves? Because this piece comes from your 8th grade year, correct?
Yeah, I was 13 years old, 8th grade year.
Okay, so everything we're seeing in this piece is real.
Everything is real.
From
That's why
back
there are,
then.
exactly. So that's why there are certain things redacted, because I wanted to leave it raw. I wanted to leave it raw, and if I edited some things, it didn't for real. So I was like, well, I'll just be transparent about the fact that there are some things that I want omitted, and then there are some things that I want focused on.
How about today?
What are my
Jessie
pet peeves
Reyez today, what is considered a pet peeve of yours?
Lack of eye contact, lack of follow through. If someone says they're going to do something and they don't, that is like
Red flag.
red flag immediately. Flag on the play. I'm out. I'm out. And oh my God, I'm out. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What else? If someone is very loose-lipped.
Ooh, yeah. If they're gossiping to you, they're gonna gossip about you.
Yeah. So I don't really like that either. And I don't like giving advice twice. And I know that could seem a little heartless, but I don't like to do that. And so I don't have that much time. If I invest and give you my perspective, but you know what? I've also found balance, because I used to be so rigid about that. But I've learned in the last couple of years from people that are close to me that sometimes, and here's the thing, sometimes people don't want advice. Sometimes someone that loves you is just going to you to find solace, to find calm, to find relief in just being heard. And they don't need a sounding board. But what's great is that now I know that for the people I love. So sometimes I'll be like, do you want me to just be present, or do you want advice?
Yes.
And it's a nice little balance, because then now after the first time I've given advice, now moving forward, I'm just going to be a sounding board, because I don't want to be a broken record.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you also, I guess, give that back in the sense you're like, hey, look, I'm just going to share
never.
this? Okay.
Never. I don't like to do that. But that's why it's so foreign to me. That's why it was such a foreign concept, because if I'm dealing with something, I am either dealing with it alone, and if I ever go to someone, it's because I'm looking for a solution. Otherwise, I don't want to bring someone my
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I need solutions.
Yeah, I need solutions, or I'll go to the gym. Or I need solutions, or I'll cry in my room.
Period.
Yeah.
Okay, so as of today, who's your favorite celebrity, if you have any?
That's not me.
That's not you.
That's not me. Frank Ocean.
That's big.
Yeah.
And you know what? Speaking of Frank, someone had posted, liking your sound to his.
Crazy.
And you responded back. Hold on, I have it pulled up because I know this was a moment. Yeah, they said, they were talking to you about one of your songs, saying that it gives off Frank Ocean nature feels. And you replied, and I love that you're replying back to people, but that it's your love language. You revere that man, and Pink Matter is one of your favorite songs in the entire world.
Yeah.
Entire world?
Entire world, for so many reasons, for the cadence it takes, for the sound, the instruments, for the content. Like, it's a song about aliens, spirituality, religion, love. I don't even know if that was I don't even know what the emotional seed is, but just literally the song is a movie, If you read it out and someone were to animate it, the song's it's a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
But it's saturated with emotion. It's just really, really beautiful. And then the fact that the drums only come in near the end of the song, so it gives you a different kind of peak. And then Andre 3000 comes in with his verse, and then Andre's talking about the integrity of writing your own, and if you're working was I working just way too hard? It's just, there's a lot that I resonate with in that song that I'm like, oh, this is beautiful.
Have you met Frank?
No, but you want to hear a funny story?
Tell me. And how has this not happened yet? But we got to figure this out.
It could have happened. It could have happened. So this is what happened. So I went to, actually it was a really good gift from an ex. They took me to a festival and I had no idea where we were going.
Okay.
They took me to a festival and we popped up and they were like, we're going to go see Frank. And I was like, no way. It was such a sweet gift.
Yeah.
Because they knew how much I loved them. And then we end up at the show.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a really good gift. We end up at the show and I'm weeping the whole set. I'm just like, it's so beautiful. Oh my God. And this is when he was doing the shows that aren't, this is when he, to me, it was innovative because I've never seen this before. People usually have the stage and the speakers, right?
Right.
But his show was built in a way that had a walkway that goes into the middle of the crowd, and then there was a center stage, and then as opposed to speakers at the front, the speakers were around, so all the audience was inside, so it was surrounds. It was so cool. And I'm crying, and then I'm an artist at the time, so we were able to get like the finesse to go backstage.
Yeah.
So show's over, I'm filled to the brim with memories, and we go backstage when everyone's talking, and he's like in cameras.
Okay, right. Okay, so this distance.
With
Okay.
this distance, and some people are talking to him, and I know what it's like when you're like after a show, people come backstage and want to talk to you. So he's like, there's people buzzing around him, right? And and I was like, and Max is like, you should go talk to him. I don't know if I can. And he's like, you should go talk to him. And I'm like, I don't know. And then I turn over, and he looks at me, so he has a moment of like, we might have that, yeah. And I was like, and he goes, and I'm like. And
you
looked away, and I just couldn't. There's two reasons. A, I just respect people's space. I respect people's space, and I know what it's like to be like after a show. I know he had people surrounding him, so I was like, I don't want to do that. And then B, I've always said like it'd be lit to do a collabo, but if I never meet Frank, I'm not even mad because I know he's human. We're all human, but. In here and in here and in here, he's not.
Yeah.
He magically painted sonic soundscapes to like my life and my memories. So if that remains something that's untouchable and not tangible and almost not human, I'm not mad at it. I almost don't want to make him human to me.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
There's that saying about never
Don't meet your
meeting
heroes.
That's it. Because it can be disappointing.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be disappointed, but I don't want to. But yeah, I've been in those scenarios too where I've been disappointed and I'm like, this sucks.
And I would ask you to share it, but I get it.
Yeah.
It is heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That,
But it was a wonderful show. He killed it. And I just love how he moves. I love that I don't give no f- about industry. I love his business decisions. Yeah. I love that he disappears. I love that he drops when he wants. I just love that. I love it.
Is that something you can see yourself doing?
Hell the f- yes. Hell yes. Hell yes. One day I'm just going to go into the woods and be a hermit. And it's going to be great.
Don't forget about us.
I
want to be journaling, and that should be a reason for you to, at least
to
think
slide
of
back.
me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be, because I get it. Sometimes you just want to be alone, and you just gotta connect within yourself.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta boogie.
Okay, I want to go back to the album and talk about your experience working with Wayne.
Okay.
Now I know you posted about obviously the moment, and you feeling giddy about it. I understand. I'm a Wayne fan, and we grew up loving Wayne. How was that for you?
Fire. It was so fire. We had worked together prior to, so the relationship was already established, but we had worked together long distance.
Right.
And, a lot of voice notes, a lot of calls and all that, but it was majority long distance. And the first time that we met was actually when it hit its peak, when it was at the music video for Riding. And I'm so happy that I went downstairs. It was nuts. I went downstairs while he was shooting. He had just started a shot, and I'm so grateful I did, because as I'm walking downstairs and I'm seeing what's happening, I could feel the same thing. I could feel the emotions coming up. And I'm the kind of girl that I'm like, you'll know when because it's just outside. I'm like Elaine from Seinfeld that be pushing people. That's what I start doing. So when I hit the ground, it looked like a football field because I was just pushing my manager. I was pushing the director.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe this. But at least I wasn't saying shit. I didn't want to fuck up the shot, right?
Right.
So I'm like shake. I look like a Furby on crack. Like I was just like this. And then the shot stopped, and I was like, dude. And he's like, hey. And then we hugged, and then we talked, and then the chemistry was lit. It was everything I'd hoped for.
You know what? Again, it's one of those things. I don't want to be disappointed. So I'm so happy to hear that it was a great moment.
Fire. It was fire.
How was it working with Ari Lennox? By the way, I love the video. It looked so fun.
It was. I love her.
Her voice is just so
It's
angelic.
ridiculous.
My God.
It's ridiculous. And it's so valid because I've been in the studio with her.
Yeah.
And I've heard her with because you can add verb, you can add a little bit of makeup. That girl is just so good. There's just been moments when I'm in the studio and I kind of just sit back and I'm like, oh, I'm so lucky. I get the equivalent of like a private concert right now, and I get to take in this.
And that's rare
mastery.
nowadays with artists actually working together in the same studio.
It's rare, but she's so good. She's so talented. She's so herself. She's so human. I just love her. I love that girl. She's great.
Yeah.
She's great.
Give me one word to describe some of the features on the album, okay? So one word only.
Okay.
Wayne.
Goat.
Sam Smith.
Love.
Lil Yachty.
Vibes.
Miguel.
Ooh. Smooth.
Ari Lennox.
Talented.
Big Sean.
Don Juan.
Who did you have the most fun with as far as, working chemistry?
I had fun with everybody.
So if you had to hang out with one person right now, get in the studio, who would it be?
Right now?
Right. This
Ari.
moment.
I miss Ari. Yeah, I miss Ari.
You can tell the vibes. You
Yeah?
Can, like in the,
Good.
oh yeah, you guys are having fun, but also having interviewed Ari, just a great person that cares so much about her work and has so much integrity.
Yep.
And that's rare.
Yeah.
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 And I can see why you enjoy her.
Yeah.
100%.
I
Who
love
do you
her.
like to have music conversations with? Like
Calvin Harris. Yeah. Sorry, I called him and asked for advice since I didn't let you finish your question.
No, tell me.
Wait, was that what you were going to say?
Yeah.
Like I called him to like ask for advice
Yes.
and feedback and stuff? Yeah, Calvin. Calvin's ear is very like refined. I respect his opinion so much. So Calvin.
Who's the one person you won't take their call if they
Oh,
have
okay. Yeah, for sure. You know who sucks?
Who's someone that has something to say? It could be
Yeah, I have someone who just always finds a cloud in the sky. But it's just the way they are. Like I don't take it personally. I think that even if I brought them, I don't know, something made from Da Vinci, they might say a stroke was left.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's fine.
just who they are.
That's just who they are. Yeah, but they have other great qualities to compensate for that, and nobody's perfect. So I just accept them.
What would you say is the one thing about yourself that isn't perfect? That if I was talking to somebody else, right, a friend of yours or maybe an ex, and they were like, you know what a red flag was in Jessie that I just overlooked? What would they say? You're like, oh, no, I'm perfect, guys. I'm actually perfect.
It's funny. I didn't realize how many perceive that I'm taking
No. I'm filling in the blanks for you.
That's funny.
Because I was thinking right now, what would I say about myself? Wow. Okay, relax, Katrina.
I got something.
Relax.
You know what? I'm late a lot, but I
Are you?
used to
You
be
were
late
so early today.
because this year I made it a point to fix somewhere where I'm lacking, and that's one of my punctuality is somewhere I've lacked before. So I've made a conscious effort to improve. Mind you, I'm not perfect, but I've made a conscious effort to improve. I could feel you looking. I've made a conscious effort.
I don't. You know what?
It's better. It's little bits.
But you know why we were on time today?
Why were we on time?
Because we were so late that we moved something to afterwards.
Progress is progress.
Progress is progress, and
Okay,
you know what?
it has to be celebrated. Even little things have to be celebrated.
Absolutely. And you know what? That negative energy is not really needed right now. This is our first time meeting, and my first impression of you is you're so early. You were so early today. I couldn't even believe it.
That's why. That's literally. But that he's telling the truth. It's because we were late for something, so things had to be moved. However, I have really made an effort to just be better and be more punctual, and I know I've made progress because I've had to wait on people this year.
Yeah.
And that's a pet peeve of mine. Which is so ironic. It's very hypocritical of me for that to be a pet peeve considering how many years I've made people wait.
Yeah.
But the reason I like to make people wait is because I don't want to be there waiting.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be late than be early. But that is what the old me would have said. But now I'm not mad at being a little early so that I could just get into the habit of making that a norm.
It's good. You're doing good. Listen, today, whether it's your first step or what.
Or there was an accident, it's progress. Yeah.
It was progress.
Progress.
Okay, explain the actual title of the album, Paid in Memories.
Paid in Memories is the quickest way to just remind myself of the tangible not being enough, like of material not being enough. You could work for so many years and, have so many bags of gold and jewelry and just, assets and get to the top of the mountain. And if you have a soul, you can't even enjoy it. It's like having
Facts.
it's like if you have a feast in front of you, but you've lost all your taste buds. You can't even enjoy what you have. So, paid in memories is almost a testament to having lived a great life, lived a great life, and having actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You know?
Ooh, and enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
Yeah.
And, I saw your response to someone who was just asking how to describe your album, and you said paid, and then you go on to talk about paid in memories, paid in songs, paid in nights, paid in sex, paid in love, paid in life. I love that.
Yeah.
Just living life.
Yeah.
Okay, where do you feel like you're getting paid the most right now?
I'm paid in love. I'm paid in love right now. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's something money can't buy. Where would you like to get paid more?
Paid in peace.
Come on.
Paid in peace.
Yes, I love this. For sure. That's you going into the woods. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the song Psilocybin and Daisies on the album. Okay. So have you done mushrooms? Is that a thing? I had to look it up because I didn't know. I was like, first off, how do I even pronounce this word? Right? I'm not kidding. I have it spelled out here so I don't mess it up.
Like phonetically. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is mushrooms, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've done them.
Yes.
And what did you discover? Is this something I should explore too?
You never done them?
Never. Ooh, break it down. I just see there is so much knowledge
That's
right
funny.
here. Give it to me.
Are you inclined to do them?
I think I'm always open as long as it's improving myself.
Cool. Because the thing is, I also don't want to take this opportunity to encourage the masses to like do any
Sure.
drugs, because I don't do them recreationally. I do them with intention, And I'm also sober. I've been sober for 2 years, so I don't drink. And even the mushrooms, I do them very like.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But very, very few and far in between the moments where I do them. But it helps for just healing. It helps for healing in moments where I feel like I've needed a bit more peace and a bit of a hand in healing. It's helped. But I also encourage people try prayer first. Try meditation next.
Yeah.
Try the gym next. Try physical exertion where you're sweating, because sometimes your body just might need an outlet. If that doesn't work, try an artistic outlet, all those things, because what's great is all those things are self-sufficient, and it'd be great for you to practice something that is self-sufficient in you, and then after all those steps, if you can't find it, then okay, then seek something outside yourself
Sure.
to see if you can get help. So if you've done all those things and then you still want to explore, they've helped me. I did it once particularly that was very, very like intentional, and I just remember I saw this beautiful visual of me, and then I was somewhere in the sky, but it was all black, and there was light connected to my umbilical cord, and then it went up and it kind of like coiled around itself and then went to a blue pyramid, whatever that means. But I felt a lot. I felt better, not a whole lot better, but better when I came out of it. The first time was really beautiful. The first time I ever did them, I was by the lake, and I remember looking up into the sky, and all of a sudden, the alphabet was in the clouds.
Wow.
And then, letter by letter, they started falling towards me. So it was like Times New Roman, and an S would fall out of the cloud, and then it would start coming closer, and the closer it got to me, it would dissipate. Another
Wow.
It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful.
Wow. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's cool.
I love that you said intentions matter in this,
Yeah.
right? And what is like the purpose and why? And I'm always so curious about that connection and self-reflection on a different dimension.
Yeah,
Like that is
cool. It's interesting.
incredible. Maybe
Yeah.
because like I have vivid dreams and I'm so into it, and like I protect my space. I'm in tune that way. So I'm always so curious about someone's experience, because like I just don't even know where to start. I'm like, wait, how does this even happen?
Yeah, what's nice is you can access that sober too. You don't need them. You can access that world. Like if you literally practice TM, transcendental meditation, and you get to this point where you can change your own brain waves, you can achieve
Does that work?
Yeah,
Have you tried
100%.
it?
Yeah, yeah. But what's funny is my mom's been able to be more successful with it than I have for that level of meditation, to be able to change what it is that you're seeing. But it's definitely possible. That's why I urge people to that's why I'm not saying have that as your first option, because we have the tools too, and
Right.
sometimes you need outside help, but we also have the tools to be able to access those higher levels.
That is so cool. I just never knew if it really worked or not.
Yeah.
But hearing that, oh, Katrina, we have Katrina's like, great. Now you've just opened Nessa up to everything. Okay, so back to the song. Tell us about the sample on it. Because
Smashing Pumpkins with it was lit, man. It was one of those things that sounded so nostalgic to me, but I didn't even put two together when I was in there with the original producers. And then I put it aside because I loved the song, and then later on found out that it was the Smashing Pumpkins song, and I was like, oh shit, I heard it, and then made sense why nostalgia felt so present when I was taking it in, and then we reached out to Billy Corrigan, and then we got it approved, which is so lit. Like, I'm just
and
grateful.
also said great things about
and
you.
said great things. Yeah, so sweet, so sweet. It's so funny because there's some haters online that are like,
Facts.
of course he did that because he got a pretty bad check. And I'm like, listen, first of all, that's not even how it works, because he's only gonna get paid if the song does well,
right?
You know, so at the end of the day, when you consider that, that means that someone's just taking a chance and being like, yeah, sure, you can use my and giving me the blessing. Like, it means a lot to me.
And he didn't have to also give you compliments. He didn't have to say he was honored.
Yeah, no,
that you were building on something that he helped create. Like, he could have. It could have just been transactional.
Could have just been transactional. Yeah, no, but he showed mad love.
Gosh, people just. Anyways, but that's got to be an incredible moment for you.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
I like this. This is exciting. Who else do you really want to work with? Like, you didn't get them on this album, but you're really hoping it can manifest.
I'm due for Drake.
Come on now.
I'm due for Drake. I love Beyonce. I've been lucky enough to work with her in the past, but it was during a time, like, if it was a pandemic, I was also injured, so everything was long distance. I didn't get to, like, be as present as I wanted to.
This was writing, right? You were working with her writing-wise.
Well, no, I was actually featured on the song too, but it was the project that she did for him. For Black is King. Yeah, for Black is King.
I you're saying SZA. Some big names right now.
Yeah, I love SZA too.
Yeah, SZA. I can see this happening though.
Yeah, I love. I can see it happening too. And also, I'd love to write a song for Jazmine Sullivan.
Ooh,
I'd love to do that.
Okay, well, I mean, wait. Let's go back to Drake, because Drake was complimenting you. You guys were at a Raptors game. I mean, he was shading a player, DeMar DeRozan. Is that Katrina knows basketball? Is that his name? Okay. But he was complimenting you within the shade, which is really nice. We love a Drake compliment.
Yeah.
Did you know what he was saying at that moment, or did you realize afterwards the compliment?
I realized it after, which is so funny because the video looks as if I'm aware of what's happening, but we were laughing at something else. I was laughing at something else. But yeah. He always shows love. Him, the whole squad, they all be showing love, man.
That can happen.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like, I feel like that's you know.
Yeah,
like,
if it's meant to be, it'll be.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so right now, let's say Drake was like, yeah, let's get in the studio, but then Frank Ocean showed up. What are you going to do?
I don't want to see Frank in human form.
Oh, that's right. He's out of this world. We don't.
Yeah. Bye, Frank. I love you, Frank. But I don't. Yeah, no. Frank is no. No. But I love Frank. No one can take. No one takes this clip out of context. Yeah. You have to be cognizant of the prior to conversation that we had.
Absolutely. About, like, you have to know how much
I love Frank. Yeah. I don't want to. I'd rather no.
You know what? I love that you're still a fan.
Legit.
Of artists. And like, seeing your love for Frank makes my heart happy, because like, you're not too cool, right? To show admiration. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a time where people are like, you can't show love. You can't, because you're doing too much. It's like, you put your whole heart out for Frank.
Yeah. For years. He must know. He must be like, why is she always talking about me? Love him.
Okay, so you brought up Jazmine Sullivan. So let's talk about the New York Times Style magazine, right?
Yeah.
That's got to be a beautiful moment.
Wild.
I never know, because I can't tell if it's AI, if it's Photoshop. Was everyone together for the photo shoot?
Well, people who are in the photos together were together. So me and Jazz were together for that day. Yeah, it was nuts. I had to hold it together. It was kind of the similar story that I said when I walked downstairs to see Wayne. Mm-hmm. I had to walk upstairs to see Jazmine, and I walked upstairs and I was like, oh my God.
What is it with stairs in you?
I don't know,
right?
That's funny. Yeah, it's all these portals that like are moments into like a memory that I'm going to cherish forever. But I walked in and I couldn't hold it. I walked in. Oh, actually, no, did I? Yes. I didn't tell her did I? I can't remember if I did it at the beginning of the shoot or at the end of the shoot, but she was in my top, like on Spotify where your top listens.
Wow.
Yeah, she's my top. Like, I'm legit. I study her. I study her because her skill is just beyond. She's anointed. She's different. So I study her. So it was just like, it was nuts. I was able to give her flowers in person and be like, I love you. You make me a better artist. You make me a better artist just by making what you make. So thank you.
What did she say?
She was like, well, thanks. She gave me a hug. She was really sweet. She was really sweet. And it was kind of like the same thing where I'm like, where I get to just be a fan. Because like how Ari, when I'm in the studio and she's singing and I'm like, oh, we're doing a photo shoot together, me and Jazz. And the same thing. Like she was just doing runs like nothing next to me. And I was like, I did the slow, like Stewie, like Family Guy, like head turn. Because it was just unbelievable. It was just insane. It was insane.
Does that happen to you a lot where you have someone like this moment of having her on your top Spotify, right? And then you run into this person? Like,
yeah.
Like when was the last time
manif-
this happened? I'm obsessed. Jessie, I think I'm obsessed with you. Because, like, if you know, you know. I love these moments.
Thank you. I love them, yeah. Because you're in alignment.
Yes.
When's the last time I said something and it happened the next day? I feel like it happens enough. It happens all the time. Yeah, it's crazy. The power of my tongue is it's almost spooky, and it makes me very aware of what I say. Because she's just strong.
Powerful.
Very powerful, yeah. It happens I can't even tell you. It happens all the time.
When you're in relationships, does a person ever get scared? Like, oh, if she has a dream of me cheating, she's going to bring it up because maybe I am going to cheat. Like, because your word is so...
Oh, that's funny.
It's very powerful.
I haven't been in a relationship where I'd be scared. Wow.
Well, before we go there.
Yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they respected my spirituality. They knew my connection. They respect spirituality in general, so they kind of just didn't make it a
thing.
Yeah, they just didn't make it a thing. And they were a dog, and they knew they were a dog, so it's not like I was showing them anything they didn't know.
But you had a dream they were cheating. Or doing you wrong, or some weird vibes.
Yeah, here. Yeah.
And you were right.
Yeah, but this isn't, I think they just went in a dog. And it was had I had more discernment, I would have been able to spare myself. But you can't fault a dog for being a dog if it tells you it's a dog and it's growling like a dog. It's not like he tried to fool me, you know? Yeah.
You thought you could change him? Or he would change for you? I've done this mistake a gazillion times. So you believe him for what they show you now.
You have to.
Absolutely.
You have to.
It's the hardest lesson I feel like that I've learned. I mean, thankfully, I don't have to deal with that anymore. But believe someone when they show you who they are.
Yeah.
The first time, whether it's a relationship or a friendship or a coworker, it could be anybody at this point.
It's such a shitty thing. It's such a thing not to see potential, especially when you're a dreamer. It's such a thing not to see.
Because you see, oh, you could be this. It's the potential, but they are who they are.
Yeah, you have to be in the moment. In the moment.
Some of your lyrics, you were talking about somebody maybe on the Knicks being your New York baby. Did this happen to someone from the Knicks like your photos?
I'm pleading the fifth. Moving on.
The internet will figure this out.
I know. Moving on.
I love it. Well, listen, this is an exciting time for you. Yeah. You're feeling a lot of love.
Yeah.
Happiness, joy. At the same time, also looking forward to having that peace when you go into the woods. I'm looking forward to that for you as well.
Amen.
What do you want your legacy to be?
I was honest. I was real. I did my best, and I tried to almost teach by doing how my mom taught me, you know? Mm-hmm. Just I learned by example of seeing her try to be her best, be the best version of herself, and see my dad do the same. And yeah, I'm it's crazy because my intention in making music isn't ever how it's going to be received, but the fact that it's helped people is just a positive byproduct. And when that started happening, I was like, oh, that's beautiful that I've been able to help so many people at once through like just a moment of solidarity, you know? So if I'm able to keep doing that, that's great, but also tangible things as well, like philanthropic efforts. And I don't always talk about what I'm donating to and what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. But now I'm almost at a point where I'm like, maybe I should talk about it more because it might encourage more people to do it. But it's a fine balance.
It's a fine line, but I think I would like to know.
To know, yeah, well, yeah.
Especially fans or just people. Listen, the inspiration transcends just music, right?
Yeah, fair. So I think I want to be more public with my philanthropic stuff, and
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too. And yeah, I guess I just want to be honest about my journey and have left the world a better place than how I found it when I landed.
I swear, I just texted Katrina this. No, show her. Because Jessie needs to know this is real. I sent it because I was answering the same questions, like the nostalgic questions from the yearbook questions, right?
Yeah.
So Katrina was like, well, what would your answers be? Like, and so I wrote that. Read it.
Leave the world better than I found it.
What was that answer
crazy.
to?
From ambition.
Wow.
That's what I wrote.
Yeah, love that.
Swear.
Yeah, that's lit. We're right here. We're locked in.
Oh my God. This is crazy. Okay. Can you tell me why you were afraid of success?
Because I identified with being the underdog for so long. So like leaning into the right side kind of just felt a little sus. Yeah. And then also there's more to unpacking. Like my first language is Spanish, and in Spanish, in English, some words have different connotations, and ambition in English is grit and hungry and, you're willing to work, but ambiciosa in Spanish doesn't give that. Ambiciosa has more of a negative connotation. And again, there's a lot of, there's colonial reasons, there's racist reasons, there's a lot of you can unpack as to why certain things have certain nuance built into them that you end up internalizing, and unless you are aware of it, you don't unpack it. And I feel like I've unpacked it where I'm like, oh, just because I wasn't born into money doesn't mean I have to be afraid of it. Just because like sometimes people associate being rich with being stuck up, and that's not always the fact. That's not always the case either. Sometimes people work hard, and then if you've worked hard and if you've sweat for what you've gathered, why should there be guilt associated when you get to eat the fruit?
Yes.
So it's been a balance of that, but that also in tandem with community, and also not being completely selfish, and also not being completely bought into the capitalistic. Wait, everything is balanced.
Jessie.
Everything is balanced. Everything is, and I don't have all the answers. I'm trying to figure it out, but everything is balanced.
Yo, I'm obsessed right now. I need to know. I one day I would love to see your thought process going behind music, because like just hearing, it's different.
Thanks.
And I've been in the game for a long time and spoke to many artists, and there's a different energy and aura that you give. And what I thought I heard on the songs, it's even more powerful, like sitting here with you, because like you really mean it. Like you really, really, really about it.
Let's go.
I think that's special,
Thank you.
That's why I'm very curious about, songs that you write, what resonates with you the most. What would you say out of your entire catalog? I know it's a hard question. It's a loaded question. Maybe you already know. Your favorite song that every time you play it, it takes you to a special place.
Today it'd be No One's in the Room. No One's in the Room is just a song about consciousness, and about life ambition and what we're here for and what you're doing. And like, I think the first verse starts with like, go to school and get a good job just to work your life away and pay your debts.
That's a fact.
And it's crazy because that's the norm for so many people. And something about that is obviously dissonant.
Right.
It's obviously dissonant. But I love that song. That song means a lot to me.
And you talked about how you kept a lot of songs for yourself this time around on your new album instead of giving them away. Were there songs you gave away that you wish you never did?
None, because I believe everything happens for a reason. There was one I reneged on recently, but I wasn't able to get it back. However, it was great how it happened, because that kind of clicked me into I should just listen to my squad when they're saying, this is a good song. And I'm like, no, it's too big, kind of because I've been too afraid of like the bigness. But in order not to get into those situations, I could feel you burning your eyes into me. I know, because the squad's always like, this is a good song.
Yeah.
And there's just been times I haven't listened, and I'm more open to it now. And that last one, at that last moment where I was like, I gave it away, and then I kind of wish that I didn't.
Oof.
It kind of lit a fire into my ass to be like, you just have to be more open to when it's in front of you, as opposed to trying to backtrack. And I think everything happens for a reason, because the song didn't do everything that it was projected to do.
Right. Fair.
Which is, sometimes that happens, but it might have been an indication that, or it might have been like, it was almost like a clue to not f it up when the song is going to do what it's supposed to do. Yeah.
But that's why you kept so many songs this time around that we're going to get to hear. Are you nervous? Is there any song on the album that you're like, oh, it's real vulnerable, I'm nervous about it?
I'm not nervous, but Brother is very emotional, very, very sentimental, and very close to the heart. But I wouldn't say nervous. I'm ready for it to be out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the rollout shows it. The momentum, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you're just catching this part of the interview, go to the start of it where you talked about momentum and the importance of that. And I feel like with this rollout, it's a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
Videos and just the energy. And I like this for you.
Amen.
You're putting yourself out there.
Yeah, we're at it.
What's your biggest fear before you get out of here?
Regret. Regret on my deathbed. Yeah, I don't want any regrets. I'd love to die empty. And I love that sentence when people are like, no, you gave everything, you said everything you needed to say, you tried all the things you wanted to try. I want to die empty. No regrets.
I'm going to steal that from you.
Do
Is that
it.
okay?
Yeah, of course.
I'm stealing everything.
Take it.
Is that okay?
Yeah, hell
I'll
yeah.
meet you in the woods.
Okay, I'll meet you in the
I'll meet you in the woods. Jessie Reyez, thank you so much for being
Thank
here
you.
today. And I can't believe it, but it was meant to be at this moment,
Yep.
right now in our life, in the universe.
Yep. I'm so happy I get to take this ponytail out.
Take it out. All right. Thank you, Jessie. Let's
Thank you.
go.